The backlash over the years to big sports teams changing their names and imagery must be exhausting and distressing. How do you take care of yourself and continue to campaign and spread awareness?
For me personally, I'm big on self-care. And I think, especially over here in the United Kingdom, there's a number of different Indigenous issues that come up, and a number of different campaigns that I've been involved in, you know, from missing and murdered Indigenous women to boarding school trauma, residential school trauma, intergenerational trauma, mascots. You know, for me, you know, we can't go and fight every single battle, and on the other hand, you know, there's a part of me that feels, why is it on my shoulders or on our shoulders as Indigenous people to constantly have to educate, you know, especially when we've got so much access to the internet, to Google, to books, to Amazon, whatever it is. And you know, for me, I personally like to keep my energies protected, so I avoid comments a lot of times. You know, on Twitter, I've seen some of the comments with regards to this campaign. I personally don't engage in every single comment that is out there. I think my silence is an answer in itself. And I think oftentimes we as Native people have to take that stance just to protect our own energies and to protect our own spirits, you know, from the negativity, because you can start to take that on, especially when you engage in that kind of activist life, that you can start to turn and become really negative and oppositional and defiant, wanting to argue all the time. So for me, I pick and choose my battles, and that's kind of, you know, for me, part of my self-care, you know, process. I don't feel like I need to fight every fight that's out there. You know, there's other people willing to take that mantle up, and, you know, at the end of the day, education is key, and that starts with self. You know, take the initiative.
You know, I always say to people, because I do a lot of just activism just in general, and also I manage, I'm a UK manager for a company called Indigenous Enterprise, which is a traditional dance company, power dance company. And you know, after a while, it does become a lot, you know, day in, day out, trying to tackle these issues and trying to find my own healing as well, amongst that. But yeah, as I always say, this life isn't for everyone, you know, and part of our resistance really is just existing. The fact that we exist still till this day is the biggest resistance that we have. That's our biggest, really our biggest claim to fame, is that throughout everything we managed to survive all of this. I look back at my ancestors and sometimes I think, boy, the kind of things that they must have gone through comparatively is nothing to what we could be thinking about right now. But then relatively speaking, I only know my own grief, I only know my own trauma, and I can only deal with that. But sometimes just moments of reflection, sitting down with myself, talking to other people, talking to my elders, talking to my aunties and uncles across the seas, is enough to just to rejuvenate me, to energize me, and that's important. It's important to not be solitary, and it's also, as much as it is equally important to be solitary and review yourself and evaluate yourself and tell yourself that what you're doing is the right thing to do if you want to commit yourself to it. I made an oath and a commitment to this kind of work that I'm doing. So for me, every moment that I take breath and that I think about what I've been able to achieve is enough to keep me personally. For me, that's me. Really.